When I first moved into this apartment, I wanted silence. No drama, no neighbors asking questions, just quiet. But the family next door made that impossible. "Hey, you must be the new guy," Emma said the first time I saw her. Her voice was soft, friendly. She stood by the doorway holding a tray of cookies. I nodded. "Yeah, just moved in yesterday." She smiled. "Welcome to the building. I'm Emma, and this is Noah." She pushed a small boy forward. He hid behind her leg, clutching a toy car. "Hi, buddy," I said, kneeling. "Nice car." He didn't answer, just stared. Those eyes, they looked too familiar. I brushed the thought off. Emma laughed nervously. "He's shy. My husband Daniel's usually the talker. You'll probably meet him later." "I'm sure I will." She handed me the tray. "We don't get new tenants often. It's good to have someone decent next door." I smiled back. "Thanks, I could use decent people." Days passed quietly. I worked from home, barely spoke to anyone. But I kept hearing Noah's laughter through the thin wall, sometimes crying, sometimes silence so heavy it felt wrong. One evening, Emma knocked again. Her face was tired, hair messy. "Sorry to bother you," she said. "Daniel's stuck at work, and I need to pick something up from the store. Can you watch Noah for an hour?" I hesitated. "I don't know if—" "Please," she said quickly. "He's already had dinner. He just needs someone to sit with him." I sighed. "All right." She smiled with relief. "Thank you, I'll be quick." When she left, Noah stood by the door, holding a drawing pad. "Do you like to draw?" I asked. He nodded. "Mom says I'm good at people. Show me." He sat at the table and began sketching. I watched, amused. Then my chest tightened. He was drawing me. "That's me?" I asked. He nodded again. "You look like me." I froze. My throat dried. "What makes you think that?" He shrugged. "Mom says I have your eyes." My heart skipped. "She said that?" "Uh-huh." He kept coloring. "She said you make people feel safe." I forced a smile. "That's nice of her." We played quietly after that. I read him a story, helped him with a puzzle. He laughed once, the sound warm and innocent. When Emma returned, she looked relieved. "Everything okay?" she asked. "Yeah," I said. "He's a smart kid." She smiled faintly. "He likes you." Daniel appeared behind her. He was taller than I expected, wearing a business suit. His tone was polite but sharp. "Thanks for helping out." "Hope he wasn't too much trouble." "Not at all." He extended his hand. "Daniel." I shook it. His grip was firm. "Nice to meet you." "Likewise." He looked at Emma, then back at me. "We'll try not to bother you again." They left quickly. I stood by my door, unsettled. Later that night, I couldn't sleep. I poured a drink and looked out the window. Their living room light was still on. Through the curtains, I saw Noah in his pajamas. Daniel sat on the couch, staring at his phone. Emma was folding laundry. For a moment, they looked like a perfect family. Then Noah turned toward the window and waved. I waved back, smiling. He lifted his hand higher, showing the drawing he made earlier. Even from across the yard, I saw it clearly. The same eyes. The same faint scar near the eyebrow. My scar. My pulse quickened. I stepped away from the glass. "No," I whispered. "That's impossible." I sat down, hands shaking. The clock ticked louder than it should. My mind drifted to years ago. A night filled with laughter and tears. A voice whispering, "Don't make promises you can't keep." I shut my eyes. I told myself it was coincidence, nothing more. But deep down, I already knew it wasn't. When I woke the next morning, I found a note slipped under my door. In neat handwriting, it read, "Thank you again for helping with Noah. He really liked you." "Emma," I turned the note over. On the back, in faint pencil lines, was a small doodle. 2 stick figures. A tall one and a small one, holding hands. I sat there for a long time, staring at it. my stomach twisting with a feeling I didn't want to name. That night, the walls felt thinner, the air heavier. Every sound from next door echoed louder. And for the first time since I moved in, I wasn't running from my past anymore. It had already found me. A week passed before I saw Emma again. She caught me in the hallway holding a bag of groceries. "Hey," she said, brushing her hair back. "You've been avoiding me." "I've been busy," I replied. She gave a faint smile. "Noah keeps asking when you'll visit. He said you're his favorite grown-up now." I tried to sound casual. "He's a good kid." She looked down. "He is. He deserves more than this." "Then what?" I asked. She sighed. "Never mind." I hesitated, then stepped aside. "You want some coffee?" I was about to make some. She looked uncertain, then nodded. "Just for a few minutes." Inside my apartment, she scanned the place. "You always keep it so clean. You used to be messy. You still remember that?" She laughed quietly. "I remember too much." I poured her coffee. "You look tired. Daniel's been working late. A lot of pressure at his firm." She forced a smile. "We're fine." I didn't believe her. "You don't have to pretend with me." She stared at the mug in her hands. "I'm not pretending." "Emma," I said softly, "you were always terrible at lying." Her eyes flicked to mine. For a moment, the years vanished. I saw the same girl who once made me believe love could fix everything. She looked away. "I should go." Before I could answer, Noah's voice echoed from the hallway. "Mom!" He ran in, holding a drawing. "Look, it's you and me." Emma's face froze. "Noah, we talked about—" He interrupted. "Mr. J helped me draw it." I smiled awkwardly. "We just doodled last time. He's really talented." Emma took the paper. Her hands trembled. "Go show Daddy." "Sweetheart?" When Noah left, she whispered, "You can't encourage this." "Encourage what?" "This connection. It'll confuse him." "Maybe you should be honest with him," I said quietly. Her expression hardened. "Don't start this again." I leaned forward. "You think I don't notice how he looks at me? How he looks like me?" "Stop. You think Daniel doesn't see it?" She shook her head. "He doesn't, and he can't. Not ever." I stood there, my pulse racing. "Then tell me, Emma, why did you come back into my life?" She swallowed hard. "I didn't plan this. When we moved here, I didn't know it was you." "That's a lie." Her eyes glistened. "It's not. I didn't know. But when I saw you, I panicked. I thought you'd left for good." "I tried to," I said. "But it's hard to run when your past lives next door." She covered her face. "Please, Jay, don't make this harder." I softened my voice. "Does he know?" She shook her head. "He's 5. He just thinks you're nice. That's all he needs to know." "And Daniel?" Her silence said everything. I sat down, exhausted. "You should have told me." "I couldn't," she whispered. "You left. You said you were done. Because you married him." Her eyes filled. "I didn't have a choice." "There's always a choice." She set the mug down and turned to the door. "You think this is easy for me? You think I don't look at him every day and see you?" I didn't answer. I couldn't. She wiped her eyes. "Forget about the past. It's over." When she left, the apartment felt colder. I stood by the window again. Their lights were on, and I saw Noah at the table coloring. Emma sat beside him, smiling faintly, pretending. That smile. It was the same one she gave me the night she said goodbye 3 years ago. The same smile that broke me. I closed my eyes and remembered that night. Her voice trembling as she whispered, "I can't do this anymore." My hands gripping hers, begging her to stay. The way she turned away when I said, "He'll never love you like I do." Now she lived next door, and everything we buried was breathing again. The next day, I ran into Daniel in the parking lot. He smiled too widely. "Morning, neighbor." "Morning." "Emma says you've been a big help with Noah." "Just once or twice." He studied me. "You two knew each other before, didn't you?" My throat tightened. "A long time ago." He nodded slowly. "Small world." I forced a smile. Yeah. Small world. As he walked away, he called out, "You know, kids remember faces." You must have made quite an impression. I stood there, frozen. Back in my apartment, I stared at my reflection. Same eyes, same scar. The same face Noah had drawn. And for the first time, I wondered if Emma's secret had ever really been buried, or if she'd been waiting for me to dig it up all along. I couldn't stop thinking about her words. Forget about the past. Easy for her to say. That night, sleep wouldn't come. The past never let me rest. It clawed its way back, piece by piece. I saw her again, 3 years younger, standing under the streetlight behind the diner where it all ended. "Why him, Emma?" I had asked that night. She looked down, trembling. "Because I have to. My parents, they don't approve of you. Daniel's stable. He can give me a life. I could have given you one too. You don't even have a job," she said softly. "You dream, Jay. You don't build." Those words cut deeper than she knew. "Then say it," I whispered. "Say you don't love me." She hesitated. "I can't." "Then why are you leaving?" Tears welled in her eyes. "Because love doesn't pay rent." I remember the silence that followed. The sound of the night around us. The way she tried to walk away, and I caught her wrist. "Emma," I said, "if you marry him, you'll regret it." "I already do," she whispered, pulling free. Then she was gone. I remember standing there long after she left, feeling like the ground had opened beneath me. That was the night I left town. The night I stopped believing love could mean anything real. Now, 3 years later, she lived next door, and her son had my eyes. The next afternoon, I was on my balcony when Emma appeared on hers. She froze when she saw me. "We should talk," I said quietly. She crossed her arms. "About what? You know what?" She looked around nervously. "Daniel's home, not now." "Then when?" She sighed. "Tomorrow morning, when he leaves for work." I nodded. The next day, she came to my apartment. She didn't knock. She just walked in, closed the door, and leaned against it like she was holding up the world. "Say it," I said. "Tell me he's mine." She closed her eyes. "You don't want this truth." "I do." "Fine." She looked straight at me. "He's yours." The air left my chest. "How long have you known?" "Since the day he was born." "And you said nothing?" "I wanted to. But Daniel was there. My parents were there. Everyone expected me to be happy. I told myself lies until they sounded true." I stepped closer. "You let me believe you moved on. That it was over." She shook her head. "You walked away. You never called. I didn't think I had the right." Her voice cracked. "And I didn't think I had a choice." We stood there, both silent, years of pain hanging between us. Then I said, "You're still with him. Why?" Her eyes filled again. "Because I have to keep Noah safe." "Safe from what?" Her silence told me more than her words ever could. I sat down, gripping the edge of the table. "Does he hurt you?" She hesitated. "He has a temper. But he's never—" "Don't lie to me again." She looked away. "It's not that simple. It never is." She sat across from me. "What do you want from me, Jay?" "I don't know." My voice cracked. "Maybe honesty. Maybe him." "You can't take him." "I'm not trying to." "Then stop looking at him like that," she said, trembling. "Like you're counting the pieces of yourself in him." "I can't help it." She wiped her face. "You think this is easy for me? I live every day waiting for everything to collapse." "Then let it collapse," I said. She stood. "You don't understand. Daniel has connections. He'll destroy me if he finds out." "Then let me protect you." Her eyes softened. "You can't protect me, Jay. You couldn't back then, and you can't now." That hit harder than she knew. When she left, I sat staring at the door for a long time. The sound of Noah's laughter came faintly through the wall. It felt like a reminder and a curse. I opened a notebook and began writing everything down. Every word, every glance, every lie. I didn't know what I was planning. Maybe I just wanted proof that I wasn't losing my mind. That night, I saw Daniel leaving their apartment. Slamming the door behind him, Emma's voice called softly from inside, trying to calm Noah. I stood by the window, hands shaking, the pen still in my pocket. The past wasn't a memory anymore. It was alive, pacing next door. And this time, I wasn't sure I could survive it again. I couldn't stop staring at Noah after that. Every laugh, every expression, every tiny movement pulled me deeper into a truth I didn't want to face. I needed proof. One evening, Emma dropped him off again. "Daniel's late," she said quickly. "Could you watch him for a bit?" I nodded. "Sure." She looked nervous. "Thank you. I won't be long." When she left, I sat with Noah on the floor. He was building a small tower with blocks. "You like living here?" I asked. He nodded. "I like when Mom's happy." "She's not happy much, is she?" He looked up at me. "She cries sometimes. She thinks I don't hear." My throat tightened. "You're a good kid, Noah." He smiled, then handed me one of his toy cars. "You can have this one. It's the same as mine." I smiled back. "Thanks, buddy." Later that night, when he fell asleep on the couch, I sat staring at a loose strand of his hair on the cushion. My hands shook as I picked it up. My chest burned with guilt. "I'm sorry, kid," I whispered. "I just need to know." The next day, I sent it to a lab. I told myself it was nothing, just curiosity. But I knew what I was doing. Days passed. Every knock on the door made my stomach twist. When the envelope finally came, I almost couldn't open it. My fingers trembled. I tore it open and read the first line, 99.8% probability of paternity. I dropped the paper. The room spun. My heart raced. I sat down hard on the chair. The air felt heavy. I was his father. A soft knock came at the door. I froze. When I opened it, Emma stood there, eyes red, voice trembling. "You did it, didn't you?" I couldn't answer. She pushed past me, slamming the door shut. "You think I wouldn't know? You think I wouldn't feel it?" "How?" "I saw the receipt on your mailbox. The lab name." She stared at me, breathing fast. "Why, Jay? Why couldn't you just leave it alone?" "I needed the truth," I said. Her hands shook. "You think that makes it better? You've ruined everything. He deserves to know who he is." She stepped closer. "And what happens when Daniel finds out? You think he'll shake your hand and thank you? He'll destroy all of us." I swallowed hard. "You can't hide this forever." Her voice cracked. "I've been hiding it for 5 years. Then you've been lying for 5 years too." She slapped me. The sound echoed through the room. Tears rolled down her face. "You don't understand what I've done to keep him safe." I rubbed my cheek, whispering, "Safe from what? From Daniel's rage, from this truth, from you." I froze. "From me? You think you'd be a hero showing up out of nowhere, claiming him? You'd destroy him, Jay. He's just a child." I looked down. "And what about me? Do I get to be nothing?" Her eyes softened, but only for a second. "You already were." That cut deep. She turned toward the door, then stopped. "Does anyone else know?" "No," I said. "Not yet." Her voice lowered to a whisper. "Then promise me you won't tell Daniel." I stayed silent. "Promise me," she said again, shaking. "I can't." Her face fell. "Then you'll get us all killed." She walked out, slamming the door so hard the picture frames rattled. I sat there in the silence, staring at the test results. My mind replayed her words over and over. "Safe from you." I wanted to burn the papers, to erase everything. But I couldn't. I needed them. I needed proof that for once I wasn't crazy. That my heart hadn't lied to me. That night I stood by my window again. I saw Daniel's car pull in. Emma was on the porch, smiling, pretending. He kissed her cheek, said something to Noah. then laughed like nothing was wrong. I gripped the paper in my hand until it tore. The truth was out, even if it was locked inside me. And I knew it wouldn't stay hidden forever. Because secrets like this always find their way to the light. The air between our apartments changed after that night. Every time I heard their door open, I froze. Every time Noah laughed, I felt the guilt tighten around my throat. Emma avoided me completely. No knocks, no smiles, no quick hellos in the hallway. Just silence. Then Daniel showed up at my door one afternoon. He leaned on the frame, casual but sharp. "You got a minute?" I nodded. "Sure." He stepped inside, scanning the place. "Nice setup, quiet. That's how I like it." He smirked. "You've been spending a lot of time with my family. They live next door." "Right," he said. "Convenient." His tone made my skin crawl. "Something you want to say?" He smiled, but his eyes were cold. "You seem close to my son. He talks about you a lot." "He's a good kid." "Yeah, he is." Daniel took a step closer. "He's mine. Just remember that." I held his stare. No one said otherwise. He chuckled. "Good. Wouldn't want any confusion." He left with that smug grin. I stood there, fists clenched, heart pounding. Later that evening, I saw Emma outside throwing out the trash. Her sleeve slipped, revealing a bruise on her arm. "Emma," I called. She froze, then pulled her sleeve down. "Don't." "What happened?" "Nothing." "Did he—" "Stop it," she snapped. "You'll make it worse." I stepped closer. "He hit you, didn't he?" She looked away. "You don't know what you're talking about. I'm not blind." Her eyes filled. "Jay, please, just let me handle it." "Handle it? He's hurting you." "You don't get it. If you push him, he'll push back harder." "I'm not afraid of him." "You should be," she said, her voice breaking. "He's not like you." I wanted to pull her away from that house right then, but she stepped back, shaking her head. "I can't leave," she whispered. "Not yet." "For Noah? For everything." She turned and walked away before I could stop her. That night, I couldn't think straight. I kept hearing Daniel's voice. "He's mine." I kept seeing the bruise. I needed to do something. The next morning, I saw Noah alone in the courtyard, kicking a ball. "Hey, champ," I called. He ran over, smiling. "Mom says I can't play outside long. Dad's mad today." I crouched beside him. "Did he yell?" Noah nodded. "He broke a plate." Mom cried. My stomach twisted. "Does he hurt her?" He looked down. "He says accidents happen." I swallowed the anger rising inside me. "Listen to me, okay? If you ever get scared, you come to me, knock on my door, anytime." He nodded slowly. "Okay." When Emma came out and saw us talking, her face drained of color. She grabbed Noah's hand. "What did I tell you about wandering? I was just—" She pulled him close. "Inside, now." He looked back at me. I gave a small wave, pretending everything was fine. She turned to me. "Don't talk to him like that again." "Emma." "No, please. You'll make this worse for both of us." Then she walked away. Hours later, Daniel knocked again. "Evening," he said with that fake smile. "We got a problem." I stayed calm. "Do we?" "My wife says you've been asking her questions about me. She's mistaken." He chuckled. "You don't strike me as the quiet type." "Believe me," I said. "I try to be." He leaned in close. "Let me make something clear. Stay away from my wife. Stay away from my kid. You step 1 foot near them again, I'll make sure you regret it." He walked off, slamming the door behind him. I stood there, shaking. Not from fear, but from the weight of holding back everything I wanted to say. Later that night, I heard them fighting through the wall. Shouting, crying, something breaking. I grabbed my phone to call someone, but my hand froze. Emma's voice cut through the noise. "Please, not in front of him." Then silence. I dropped the phone, sat on the floor. The guilt was unbearable. This wasn't about love anymore. It wasn't even about the truth. It was about survival. And I realized something terrifying. The house next door was built on lies, but I was the one who had started the first crack. It was past midnight when I heard the knock. Soft, desperate, I opened the door and saw Emma standing there, drenched from the rain, clutching Noah's hand. "Please," she whispered, "let us in." I stepped aside. "What happened?" "Daniel found out," she said, shaking. "About the test, about everything." My heart dropped. "How?" "I don't know. He went through my phone, my emails. He said you told someone." "I didn't." She sank onto the couch, holding Noah close. "He smashed my phone. Said if I ever leave, he'll take Noah." Noah's small voice trembled. "Mom, is Daddy mad?" Emma hugged him. "No, sweetheart. Daddy's just confused." I knelt down. "You're safe here, okay? Both of you." She nodded weakly. "Thank you." Rain pounded against the window. The room smelled like fear. I sat beside them, trying to steady my breathing. "Where is he now?" I asked. "At home, drunk, maybe asleep." I ran when he left the room. "You can't go back there." "I have to," she said. "If I don't, he'll come here. He'll make a scene." "Let him," I said. "He needs to be stopped." Her eyes filled. "You don't get it. He'll ruin me. He'll tell everyone, my parents, the police. He'll twist everything. I'll protect you." "You can't." Her voice broke. "You think he's just some angry husband? He's dangerous." I clenched my fists. "Then we'll go somewhere else. Tonight. I'll drive you both." She looked at me like I was a child. "And then what? Live in hiding? You can't save me from this." I lowered my voice. "I can try." She shook her head. "I don't want you hurt." "Emma," I said softly, "I've already been hurt. Years ago. You did that." Her eyes met mine, and I never forgave myself. The silence that followed was heavy. Only the sound of Noah's breathing filled the room. I whispered, "Does he know Noah isn't his?" She nodded slowly. He said he always suspected. But seeing the proof, it broke something inside him. Then why stay? Because I was afraid of what he'd do if I left. "You don't know what he's capable of." "I'm starting to," I said. She reached out, touching my arm. "You shouldn't be part of this." "I already am." Noah stirred, whispering, "Mom, I'm tired." Emma kissed his forehead. "Go to sleep, honey. It's okay." He curled up on the couch, clutching a blanket I handed him. Within minutes, he was out. Emma stared at him for a long time. He deserves a normal life, not this mess. He deserves the truth. Her voice trembled. Truth doesn't feed him, Jay. It doesn't keep him safe. I looked away. Lies don't either. She wiped her eyes. "You think I like lying? You think I enjoy pretending every day that he is Daniel's son? That I can't even look at Noah without seeing you?" I swallowed hard. "Then stop pretending." She stood up suddenly. "You don't understand what that would cost." "I do," I said. "You'd lose him. You'd lose everything. But at least you'd have peace." She laughed bitterly. "Peace is a luxury for people who don't live in fear." I stood too, anger rising. "Then what do you want me to do? Watch from my window while he destroys you?" She looked down. "If you love me, forget us." Her words hit like a punch. I stared at her. "You mean that?" She nodded, tears falling. "You can't fix this, Jay. The best thing you can do is stay out of it." I felt something inside me break. "You think I can just pretend none of this exists?" "You have to," she said. "For him." The rain grew louder outside, wind rattling the glass. I whispered, "You're asking me to walk away again." She turned to the door. "It's the only way we survive." When she reached for the handle, I caught her wrist. "He'll kill you if you go back." She looked at me, eyes hollow. "Then at least it'll end." I let her go. She took Noah in her arms and walked out without another word. The door closed. The sound of the rain swallowed everything else. I stood there alone, shaking. My fists clenched so tight they hurt. I wanted to scream, but all that came out was a whisper. "You'll regret that, Emma, you will." I turned off the lights and sat in the dark, listening to the storm. That night, something inside me changed. Love had burned out. Only fury remained. The next morning, I barely slept. My phone buzzed once, a message from Emma. "We're fine, please don't come over." I didn't believe her. Hours passed before another knock came. I opened the door, expecting her again, but it was Daniel. He wore a calm smile that didn't match his eyes. "Morning, neighbor." I said nothing. He stepped inside without asking. "Emma tells me you've been worried about her." "She told you that?" "She tells me everything," he said, glancing around my apartment. "Nice place. Looks like the kind of place a man keeps when he has nothing to lose." I crossed my arms. "Say what you came to say." He smirked. "I know about the test." My blood ran cold. "What test?" He laughed quietly. "Don't insult me. I've seen the results. You think she hides things from me?" I clenched my jaw. "If you touched her..." He raised a hand. "Relax. I don't hit women." I stared at the faint bruise on his knuckle. "That's not what I heard." His smile vanished. "You think you know her? You think you're the first man she's lied to?" I took a step closer. "What do you mean?" "She told you she loved you once, didn't she? That you were different? That she was forced to marry me?" I said nothing. He leaned in, voice low. "She said the same thing to me. Right before our wedding, she told me she didn't want to hurt you. Guess she lied to both of us." I felt my chest tighten. "You're lying." He shrugged. "Believe what you want. She's good at playing the victim. Makes men feel like heroes. You fell for it." "Get out," I said. He didn't move. "You want the truth. She came back to this building on purpose. She knew you were here. She told me you were just some old mistake. I didn't buy it. Why tell me this?" "Because I want you gone," he said flatly. "You're a problem. And I don't like problems near my family." He turned and left, slamming the door behind him. I stood there, shaking, unsure if I hated him or her more. Later that night, I heard a faint knock. It was Emma, eyes swollen from crying. "I shouldn't be here," she whispered. "Then why are you?" "Because I can't keep lying." "About what?" She looked around as if Daniel could still hear her. "He knows everything. He said you told him." "I didn't," I said. "He showed up this morning. He said things about you." She interrupted. "Don't repeat them." "Emma, he's twisting everything." She nodded weakly. "He always does." "Then leave him." "I can't." "You can," I said. "I'll help you." She looked at me with that broken half smile. "You think running will fix this?" "He'll find us." "Then we fight back?" She shook her head. "You don't understand who he really is." "Then make me understand." She hesitated, then whispered, "He cheated on me. Years ago. I found out when I was pregnant. I told him I'd leave, but my parents forced me to stay. They said no one forgives a mother who leaves her husband." My hands curled into fists. "So he betrayed you first?" She nodded. "And now he's punishing me for it?" I stepped closer. "You can't live like this, Emma. You're dying inside." She broke down, crying into her hands. "I know." I pulled her into my arms. "You don't have to hide anymore." She trembled against me. "If he finds out I'm here..." "He already knows," I said. "He told me to stay away." She looked up. "And you won't?" "Not anymore." For a moment she didn't move. Then she whispered, "Jay, if something happens, promise me you'll protect Noah." "Nothing's going to happen," I said. "I won't let it." She nodded weakly. "You always say that." When she left, I watched her walk across the hall. Daniel opened the door for her, smiling like nothing was wrong. She slipped inside without looking back. Through the thin wall, I heard muffled voices. His low and sharp. Hers soft and shaking. I sat down, trying to steady my breathing. He was right about one thing. We were all trapped in the same lie. But he was wrong about who would break first. It started with shouting, loud enough to shake the walls. I froze, heart pounding, listening through the thin air between our apartments. "Daniel, stop!" Emma's voice cracked. "You're scaring him," Noah cried. Then came a crash. I didn't think. I ran out, slammed on their door. "Emma, open up!" The door burst open. Daniel stood there, wild-eyed, his shirt unbuttoned, breath thick with alcohol. "What the hell do you want?" he barked. "Move," I said. "Where's Emma?" He laughed. "In her place, like she should be." I pushed past him. He grabbed my arm hard. "Don't touch me," I warned. "You think you can walk into my home?" I met his stare. "When you hit her, yeah." He smirked. "You're her hero now?" Emma's voice came from behind me. "Daniel, stop it." I turned. She stood near the couch, holding Noah close. Her lip was bleeding. That sight flipped something in me. I shoved Daniel back. "Touch her again, and I swear." He swung first. His fist hit my jaw, and I stumbled. Noah screamed. Emma ran forward, shouting, "Stop, both of you!" I swung back, catching Daniel in the chest. He staggered, then lunged at me again. We crashed into the table, sending a lamp to the floor. "Daddy, stop!" Noah cried. Daniel froze for half a second, breathing hard. "Go to your room," he barked. "No," Noah sobbed. "You're hurting him." I pushed Daniel off me, panting. "You call yourself a father?" He sneered. "Better than you'll ever be." Emma stepped between us, voice shaking. "Enough, all of you, please." The hallway light flickered as neighbors began shouting from behind their doors. Someone yelled, "I'm calling the police." Daniel's face twisted. "Great. Now everyone knows." He turned to Emma. "You wanted this, didn't you? To ruin me?" She shook her head, crying. "I just wanted peace." He pointed at me. "You think this guy cares about you? He's using you to get to me." I wiped the blood from my mouth. "You've already destroyed her life. Don't blame me for what you did." "You'd think she's innocent," Daniel snapped. "She lied to both of us. She used you. She used me." Emma whispered, "Stop lying." "Tell him the truth then," Daniel shouted. "Tell him you came back here because you couldn't stand that he left you." She froze. He smiled coldly. "That's right. You didn't move here by accident. You knew he lived next door. You wanted to see if he'd still chase you." "Daniel, please, tell him Emma." Her silence hurt worse than his words. I stared at her. "Is that true?" Tears rolled down her face. "I didn't mean for this to happen." "Answer me," I yelled. "Yes," she cried. "I knew. I thought if I saw you again, maybe I could finally forgive myself." The room spun. "You dragged me back into this," she sobbed. "I didn't know it would get this bad." Daniel laughed bitterly. "You two deserve each other." The sirens wailed outside. Blue and red lights flickered through the window. Emma wiped her face, trembling. "Please, Daniel, stop talking. The police." He turned to me, furious. "You called them?" "No," I said. "Your neighbors did." 2 officers knocked hard. "Police, open up!" Daniel glared at me. "This isn't over." 1 officer stepped in. "Sir, step away from him." Emma clutched Noah, whispering, "It's okay, honey. It's over." Daniel pointed at me. "He's the one you want. He broke in." The officer raised his hand. "Everyone calm down." Emma's voice shook. "Please, just take him outside." Daniel tried to lunge forward again, but the officers grabbed him. He shouted until his voice cracked. When they pulled him away, the apartment fell silent. Emma sank to the floor, sobbing into her hands. Noah crawled into her lap. I knelt beside them, shaking. "It's okay," I said quietly. "You're safe now." She looked up at me, tears streaming. "Safe? You think this is safety?" I swallowed hard. "He's gone." "For now," she whispered. But we'll never be free. I had no words. She turned her face away. You should leave, Jay, before they come back. I'm not leaving you like this. You already did once. Her words hit harder than Daniel's punches. I stood there, bleeding, watching her cradle our son. As the flashing lights faded outside, I finally understood. Revenge didn't heal anything. It only passed the pain forward. The next few days blurred together. I didn't sleep. Every sound from the hallway made me tense, waiting for Daniel to come back. Then the news spread. He'd been arrested for domestic assault. Neighbors whispered. Cops came and went. His car sat untouched in the parking lot, a reminder that monsters sometimes looked like family men. I knocked on Emma's door a week later. She opened it halfway, eyes tired but calmer. What do you want, Jay? To see if you're okay. She sighed. We're fine. You shouldn't be here. I'm not here for him. I'm here for you and Noah. Her voice was cold. You've done enough. I stepped closer. You think I called the cops? I didn't. I know, she said quietly. But it doesn't matter. It's over. Over? He'll be out soon. I'm filing for divorce, she said flatly. Noah and I are leaving town. My heart sank. Leaving? It's the only way we start over. I hesitated. What about me? She looked down. You knew this was coming. No, I didn't. She met my eyes. You wanted justice. Now you have it. Be happy with that. I shook my head. Justice doesn't feel like this. She leaned against the doorframe. You think this is easy. I lost everything. My home, my safety, my name. People whisper when I walk by. They don't care about truth. They care about gossip. I whispered, you don't have to do it alone. She smiled weakly. I always did. Before I could speak, Noah appeared behind her, holding a small backpack. Mom, are we going now? Almost, she said softly. He looked at me and waved. Bye, Mr. J. I forced a smile. Take care of your mom, okay? I will. Emma touched his shoulder. Go wait inside. He left. I stared at her. He deserves to know one day. She nodded. Maybe when he's old enough to understand. Not now. She handed me an envelope. For you. I frowned. What is it? Something I wrote. Read it later. She stepped back, eyes glassy. Goodbye, Jay. Emma, wait. The door closed. I stood there for a long time, the envelope trembling in my hand. That night, I opened it. The paper smelled faintly like her perfume. The first line made my chest tighten. You were right. He's yours. But being his father doesn't mean claiming him. It means protecting him, even from the truth. She'd written pages of guilt, of fear, of love that never faded but couldn't survive. One day, he'll ask about you. I'll tell him you were kind, that you made him laugh, that you stayed even when you shouldn't have. But I won't tell him the rest. He deserves to build his life without our mistakes. By the end, the words blurred. My tears fell onto the page. The last line read, Please don't find us. If karma is real, let it work, let it end with me. I folded the letter carefully and slipped it into my wallet. The days grew quieter. The building felt empty without them. I still caught neighbors whispering, some sympathetic, others curious, but I stopped caring. Daniel lost his job after the arrest. I saw his face once on the news. Walking out of court, eyes hollow, I felt nothing. Sometimes, late at night, I'd catch myself listening for Noah's laughter through the wall that no longer echoed it. The silence felt heavier than the noise ever did. I tried to move on. I went back to work, avoided conversations, pretended to live. But the truth stayed with me, folded neatly inside that letter. One evening, months later, I came home to find something under my door. A small drawing, a stick figure holding hands with a smaller one. Underneath, written in shaky letters, Thank you, Mr. J. No signature, no note, just that. I sat on the floor, clutching it like proof that something good still existed. Emma had kept her promise. She disappeared, but somehow she'd let him say goodbye. And for the first time in years, I didn't cry out of pain. I cried because maybe, just maybe, she'd found the peace she'd been chasing. Years passed. The building changed owners. Tenants came and went, but their door stayed empty. Every time I walked past it, I felt a shadow of something I couldn't bury. I got older, quieter. I stopped expecting closure. Then, one rainy morning, it happened. I was leaving for work when someone knocked on my door. A boy stood there. Tall now, maybe 15. Wet hair, sharp eyes that looked too familiar. "Hi," he said awkwardly. "Are you Mr. J?" My heart stopped. "Yeah, you're Noah," he said, smiling slightly. "You probably don't remember me." I almost laughed. "I remember everything." He looked around the hallway. "Mom said this was where we used to live. She told me you were nice to us." I swallowed hard. "How is she?" "She's good," he said. "We live by the coast now. She teaches art." I smiled. "That sounds like her." He nodded. "She still draws. Mostly portraits. She told me once she used to draw you." I felt my throat tighten. "Did she?" He shrugged. I asked her why. She said you reminded her of a promise she couldn't keep. I leaned against the doorframe. "She always said things like that." He smiled faintly. "She also said you were brave." I laughed softly. "She lied about that one." Rain hit the window beside us. He shifted nervously. "I wanted to meet you. I found one of her old letters. It had your address." I nodded. "I'm glad you came." He looked at the floor. "Can I ask you something?" "Anything." "Did you love her?" I froze. "Yes," I said quietly. "More than anyone." He nodded as if he already knew. "She loved you too." She never said it straight, but I could tell. I tried to smile. "She was complicated like that." He looked up. "You knew my dad too, right?" "Daniel?" I hesitated. "Yeah, I knew him." "What was he like?" I took a deep breath. Strong, smart, but angry. He let his fear control him. He studied my face. "Mom says I'm like him sometimes." "You're not," I said quickly. "You've got her heart." "I can see it." He smiled. "She says I have your eyes." I looked away, fighting the sting in my chest. "She said that before." He laughed lightly. "Yeah, she told me you used to babysit me once." "I did," I said. "You drew me a picture that night." "Really?" I nodded. 2 stick figures. "You said it was us." He grinned. "Guess I've been an artist since day one." We both laughed. Then silence settled, gentle and strange. He looked at me again. "I think I came here to see if you were real." I tilted my head. "And?" "You are," he said simply. "More than I thought." Something in my chest broke open. I wanted to tell him everything. That he was mine. That I never stopped thinking about him. But the words stayed locked behind my teeth. Instead, I said, "Your mom did a good job. You turned out okay." He nodded. "She said you'd say that." I smiled. "Of course she did." He checked his watch. "I should go. She's waiting in the car." "Tell her." I stopped. "Tell her I'm proud of her." He looked surprised. "I will." I followed him to the door. "Noah," I said softly. He turned. "Yeah?" I reached into my wallet and pulled out a folded paper. The letter she'd left me years ago. "Your mom wrote this. It's yours now." He took it carefully. "You sure?" "She'd want you to have it." He nodded. "Thank you." We stood there in silence. Rain hit the pavement. For a second, it felt like time had looped. Like I was looking at my younger self standing in that hallway. He smiled again. Smaller this time. "Goodbye, Mr. J." "Goodbye, Noah." He turned to leave, walking down the hall toward the exit. I watched until he was gone. The door closed and the quiet returned. But it wasn't the same kind of quiet anymore. It was peace. I sat down by the window, listening to the rain. For the first time in years, I didn't feel haunted. I felt human again. He knew. Maybe not fully, but enough. And that was enough for me. I looked out at the street and whispered, "Take care of her, kid." Then I smiled because I knew he would.